everybody, this is Selena Starlight Witch. I hope everyone is doing well. So today I am going to do my very best to talk about cord cutting spells. I'm going to try to explain what it is and why it is so important because it is overlooked. It is underrated. People think that they are insignificant when really they are life changing. So I'm going to do my best to explain. I am exhausted. I have been doing spells like almost every day for the past 2 weeks. So I am really, really tired. But I could feel my spirits pushing me to do this video. They've actually been pushing me to do this video for the past month and I just haven't had the chance. But today I finally am sitting down and I'm going to try to make this video and try to explain to the best of my ability. I'm not very good at explaining things, so I'm going to do my best. Okay, so I'm going to talk about cord cuttings and why they are so important. So we all have negative cords, all of us. And there's no limit to the amount of cords that you can have. And you don't just have cords with people. Some people think that you just have negative cords and attachments between you and another person. So, and don't judge my drawing, okay? I am a horrible artist, but I'm going to try to demonstrate here. And I can't really see either with how I got this camera set up. But I'm going to try. Let's see. Let's do a frowny face for this person. And I don't have my glasses on either, so I am struggling to see here. Okay, let's say you and X. So imagine that is you, and imagine that is your X. So I drew a frowny face here because these negative cords and attachments, it does not serve you, but it will serve the other person. Okay, so that's kind of what a cord looks like. Just imagine like a black piece of yarn. And sometimes I even see it like cobwebs for some reason. But that's basically what it is. It attaches with you and another person. So think of this, like think of your ex as like a vampire. Oh my gosh, I can't see. That looks horrible. Okay, so think of your ex as like a vampire. So anyone that you have a negative attachment with, you have a cord with, they're like a vampire basically. They suck your energy like through this cord. They take your energy, they take your power, they can even take things like your good luck. So they're taking all your energy and they're just weighing you down, stressing you out. Trying to make this person look stressed here. So this is one way to describe why these cords are bad. So any person who you have had a significant relationship with or made you feel any type of emotion, you develop a cord with that person. Okay, and the longer that relationship goes on, the more emotion that is involved, the denser the cord gets. So it just gets more and more black, it just gets more and more dense, and this person just continues to take your energy. That looks horrible. Anyways, so most people don't know that. My spirits explain it to me like this. Just imagine the people who have cords attached to you, it's like a straw. They're constantly sucking your energy. So any person you have been intimate with, that you've had a relationship with, you have a cord with them. You develop a cord. So this can be things like family members, friends, exes, um, even coworkers. The main thing that develops these cords is emotion. I mean, that can be stress, anger, love, any kind of emotion. The more emotions there are between you and this person, the stronger this cord gets. So, in order to free yourself from that person, in order to basically be free, to stop this person from draining your energy, and also another thing, if this person, let's say they're having, cannot see, bad luck. Guess what? Their bad luck is going to affect you. Most people don't know that, but that is true because there's a cord attachment. You're attached to this person. Whatever their experience, you're going to experience a part of that. So if they're having bad luck, if they're having stress, if they're having health issues, anger issues, you're going to experience part of that. I mean, literally, most people don't realize that. Most people don't know that, but that is true. Let's see, what else do I need to explain? So imagine you have all these cords and attachments with all these different people. Just all these different people. They're just attached to you, taking all your energy, taking all your power. Let's say that's an ex, family member, an old friend, somebody from school. They're just taking all your energy, all your power. And let's say that person is stressed. Well, some of that energetic stress is going to affect you. Let's say that person is having love life issues. Their love life issues is going to affect you. Let's say this person keeps having car issues. Believe it or not, their bad luck with cars can affect you and you start getting flat tires all the time for no reason. So literally it connects you to these people. Okay, it connects you to them. What they're feeling, you're going to sense that. What they're going through, you're going to get a part of that. So this is why it is extremely important that you are careful with who you feel emotions for, with who you interact with and get close with. And I try to tell people, even if someone pisses you off, try not to get pissed off because that is going to develop a cord and then they're just going to start draining your energy and taking energy from you, taking your power, and you're just going to feel worse and worse. And they're going to feel better because they're draining from your energy. And this can be vice versa as well. You can take their energy, which is not, usually not a good thing because, like I said, if they're having bad luck and you're draining their energy, you're going to drain their bad luck and you're going to get bad luck. If they're stressed, you taking their energy through that core attachment, you're going to get some of that stressful energy. I hope I'm explaining that right. Excuse me. I hope I am explaining that right. It is very difficult to explain. Um, I do have very strong psychic and mediumship abilities, so I can see this spiritually, but it's hard to put it into words. So I hope that makes sense. So it is important, whether you do this yourself, whether you pay someone else to do it, although I will warn you, most people, 90% of practitioners out there are scammers, or they're people who don't know what the heck they're doing. Um, Especially on TikTok. TikTok is horrible. Um, Most people are not doing cord cuttings correctly, and that's why most people who pay for them don't see a difference because they're not doing it right. I will make a video on how to do a cord cutting correctly in case you prefer to do it for yourself instead of paying someone. I do offer them, and I offer them really cheap, especially for the work that I put in. I mean, I go all out. I add oils, herbs, I call in my spirit team. I do a bunch of stuff because I want to make sure that cord is cut. But my point is, it is important that you do cord cuttings, and you have to do a cord cutting for each person. You can't, I see some people, some practitioners do one cord cutting for one person with all these people, and it doesn't work like that. You have to do a separate spell for each cord. You have to cut them one by one by one. So that takes time, that takes energy, but it is well worth it. So I do recommend you start with your exes or anyone that you had a seriously bad relationship with. It is important that you get those first. So I want to explain something else. So you don't just have cords with people, believe it or not. You also have cords with things like bad habits, feelings, events, even places. You can have cords. Hold on. Let me try to do this. I should have put on my glasses. Look, they're all sad. Sad and depressed because they have all these negative cords. So let's say, trying to think of one. No self love. Let's say you don't have self love. You stopped loving yourself, you stopped caring for yourself a long time ago, and you just haven't had self love since. Guess what? Believe it or not, that can be a cord. Let's do addictions. That's a cord. Let's say car crash. That's a cord. Yep, if you have a traumatic experience, you will develop a negative cord with that experience and that event. Let's say school. If you had bad experiences at school, mean teachers, bullying, etc., that's a cord. Let's say fear. That's a cord. Let's say you struggle with a lot of fear and anxiety. Say worrying. That's a cord. The workplace, or let's say old job. So you can have negative cords and attachments with things like anxiety, fear, depression, low self esteem, addictions, alcoholism, drug addiction, smoking, um, past experiences, past jobs that brought you a lot of stress, bad experiences at school, college, anything that brought you or caused you stress, you create a negative cord with that. Whether that be an emotion, an addiction, a event, a person, a bad habit. If it harmed you in any way, physically, emotionally, you will have a negative cord attachment with that. So, as you can imagine, most of us have a ton of negative cords. And guess what? The more cords you have and the longer they go on, the longer they're attached, the denser they get. And all that trauma, that negativity just weighs you down, makes you sad, depressed, stresses you out. So, I hope I explained that right. So, these things cause a lot of baggage on you. It really does. It causes things like bad luck, depression. It can cause a lot of issues. It can cause like blockages, making it hard for you to manifest, making it hard for you to move on from these things. If you think about a certain thing a lot, like a certain person, or you think about a certain thing from the past a lot, then you can be sure that that is because there is a negative attachment there. So it's constantly popping up in your mind. So, in order to fix these issues, your only way to do this is through a cord cutting spell, and that's like, oh, I cannot draw a candle. Just imagine that this is a candle. I mean, I'm sure most of you know what a cord cutting looks like. That's you. That's your ex. So that's you. One candle represents you. The other one represents your ex. And you tie like a piece of twine to connect the two candles. So, and then you do like a whole ritual where you add oils and herbs and stuff, and you have to take like, you're supposed to use like iron scissors, and then you cut the cord. Well, once it catches on fire, then you cut the cord. And guess what? That person is gone. They're out of your energy. They're no longer in your energy field. They're gone. So that will make you happier. Yay. So you have to do a cord cutting for each of these things. Me personally, I've probably done about 30 of them. I've done a lot. Um, but you want to start off with the worst because you want to get the worst out of the way, out of your energy, especially if you know you got cords with a toxic ex and that ex is having a lot of bad luck. You don't want to keep getting their energy in your field and getting their bad luck. So I hope that makes sense. Cord cuttings are very important, but people think that they're not important. They're very underrated. Most people go straight to manifestation, they go straight to the love magic. But how are you going to manifest a happy relationship when you've got all these exes who have cords attached to you? And that's going to affect you and your relationship. You know what I mean? So I tell people, don't overlook a cord cutting. Just one cord cutting can do you a tremendous amount of good. I remember when I did my first cord cutting, I couldn't believe the changes that I saw in my mental health, my physical health, my life. I mean, it is really unbelievable sometimes how good a cord cutting can do you. But I try to explain it's going to be very difficult for you to progress in life, for you to get better, healthier, happier, manifest the good things in your life when you have all this baggage on you, all these negative cords, just all in your energy, all in your aura, just everywhere. I mean, it's like being covered in worms. Literally, it's like being covered in worms. And the more there are, the worse it's going to be. So it is very, very important that you cut these cords. Anything that you can think of that bothers you, cut the cord. Anxiety, um, childhood trauma, relationship trauma, fear, um, issues with the parent. And you can't do, a cord cutting at the same time for all these things. You have to do a cord cutting for each separate issue. So, you can't do a cord cutting for alcoholism and eating addiction. You have to do two separate ones, if that makes sense. So, it does take time to do. And especially if you're going to be paying someone, it does cost money, which is why I try to keep my cord cutting spells price kind of low. They don't take a long time to do, maybe like an hour. The only thing is that the ingredients cost a bit. You can just use a candle and some twine, but I like to add extra stuff because I notice the more you put into it, the stronger the spell is. But before you go straight to the love magic and straight to manifestation, or just feel like, cord cutting's not necessary. It's not important. It is. It's very important. It is necessary. Cut your cords first. Okay, before you start going to, manifestation, get rid of the cords first. And then you want to go to things like road opener, blockbuster, uncrossing. Before you get to manifestation, you want to do those things first. But you especially won't be able to progress in life until you get rid of these cords. Like I said, whether you pay someone to do it or you do it yourself, get rid of them. Any cord that you can think of that needs to be cut, cut it. Let's say you thought you cut all your cords, but you start having random dreams about mm, being bullied in school. So you got another cord that you need to cut. If it still pops up in your head, in your dreams, in your emotions, and it was a negative issue, a negative experience for you, caused you stress, pain, whatever, it needs to be cut. So the more you cut these out of your field, the more you remove these cords, the better your life is going to get. Okay, you'll be able to manifest better, more smoothly. Um, I have seen things like mental health improvement. I've seen things like physical health improvement. Just cord cuttings alone have changed my life drastically. I mean, even before I got to the cleansing spells like road opener, the cord cutting spells had done tremendous amount of good for me, because these cords, they drain you. They drain you. They really do. They suck you dry every single day. And they also cause things like bad luck. I mean, think about it. Like I say, you could have people attached to you who are having bad luck, and you can get bad luck because you have something connecting you and that person. So, I mean, that even includes people that you're intimate with. Even if you didn't have a relationship with them and you were only intimate with them once, it creates a cord. Unfortunately, it creates a cord. So, I hope that makes sense. I hope I explained that right. I'm trying to think if I'm missing anything. Mm, like I said, I am going to make a video on how to do this yourself. I think that covers it. Um, just try to keep in mind how important this is, because like I said, most people overlook it. Most people don't think it is important at all. And even after watching this video, I'm sure some people are still not going to believe that it's important, but that's okay. Hopefully this video will help some people. But before you think about getting a love spell or doing a love spell, get rid of the baggage out of your energy first, because if you don't, it's not really going to work out. Um, but do be careful, because be careful who you hire. I'm not saying I'm the best or anything like that, but be careful. Most people on TikTok are scammers. There's probably only a handful who are legit. Um, YouTube, there's there's more legit people on YouTube than there are TikTok, but there's still, you know. Um, yeah, just be careful. Most people don't do cord cuttings right. I've seen that. It's crazy. I've seen some silly stuff, especially on TikTok. I will show you how to do a correct cord cutting. If you don't want to do it yourself, I do offer it as a service. And I do try to keep it cheap. I think that's all. I think I pretty much covered everything. I do plan on making more videos in the future when I have the time to sit down. I am always doing spells, or I'm exhausted from doing spells. But if you want to know more about things like this, um, feel free to subscribe to my channel, because I will be making more videos explaining things. Um, so yeah, I hope that video makes, well, I hope this video makes sense. I hope I explained everything well. I appreciate any likes, comments. Um, if you decide to subscribe, I appreciate that as well. If you have any questions, please let me know. And thank you for watching this video, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.